So without further much ado, let's start our AFP updates. May we call now the AFP spokesperson, Colonel Padilla, to give us the updates. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat, Colonel Trinidad, sir, our Chief PAO. All right, so it's really nice to see familiar faces and all new faces today. So let's begin with our significant AFP updates. So following President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s historic speech at the Shangri-La Dialogue, the Armed Forces of the Philippines emphasized the importance of an open, inclusive, and rules-based international order and the crucial role of the AFP personnel in achieving this vision. During the flag-raising ceremony on June 3 at the General Headquarters Armed Forces of the Philippines, our Vice Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Arthur Cordura, urged all officers, enlisted personnel, and civilian personnel to diligently fulfill their duties as integral to the region's stability and security. On May 31st, the AFP Eastern Mindanao Command held a retirement and change of command ceremony, appointing Major General Jose Maria Cuerpo II as its acting commander. Major General Cuerpo succeeded Lieutenant General Greg Almerol, who retired upon reaching the mandatory age. The ceremony, held at the Naval Station Felix Apolinario in Camp Panacan, Davao City, was presided over by Lieutenant General Charlton Sean Garland, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, who was representing the AFP Chief of Staff. In the same day, the Armed Forces of the Philippines installed Marine Colonel Ferdinand Marcelino as the new Provost Marshal General in a change of Chief of Office and retirement ceremony here in Camp Aguinaldo. The ceremony also honored Brigadier General Jerry Polohanan, who retired after decades of exemplary service, including roles as TPMG since September of 2018, the Chief of the AFP Human Rights Office, and Air Judge Advocate of the Philippine Air Force. On May 28, the Armed Forces of the Philippines signed a declaration of cooperation for a joint forum or workshop aimed at empowering local communities through a Multi-Sector Governance Council meeting, or the MSGC, at the headquarters 2nd Marine Brigade in Bongao in Tawi-Tawi. The signing ceremony was presided over by Lieutenant General Charlton Sean Garland, the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the forum serves as a strategic discussion on effective governance, promoting the rule of law and human rights, and aims to establish a proactive environment and a maritime security plan in Tawi-Tawi. In terms of our internal security operations, on May 31st, the 8th Infantry Stormtroopers Division welcomed the arrival of 2nd Howitzer Platoon, Bravo Company, 3rd Field Artillery Battery, or 3FAB, Armor Artillery Regiment in the AAR of the Philippine Army. They will serve as a support troop to the Joint Task Force Storm in 8ID in its campaign of totally eradicating local communism in Region 8. In the same day, a communist terrorist group, bomb maker, and a squad leader yielded to operating troops of the 9th Infantry Sandigan Battalion of the 9th Infantry Division in Labo, Camarines Norte. The two former rebels also surrendered war material, which includes an M203 grenade launcher, 2 anti-personnel mines, and an M16 rifle, a Molotov, and other bomb-making equipments. On May 30, troops from the 63rd Infantry Battalion of the 8th Infantry Division recently rescued a wounded communist NPA terrorist after an armed encounter in Sitio Bagti, Barangay Mabini, Basi in Samar. The rescued individual was identified as Melchor Fabula, alias Alan or Rico, a 41-year-old member of the NPA operating in Eastern Visayas. He was abandoned by his comrades after sustaining gunshot wounds in a 40-minute firefight with government troops. On May 29, operating troops of the 49th Infantry Battalion under the 9th Infantry Division, together with the Philippine National Police, recovered war material in Barangay Tablon, OWAS in Albay. Acting on a tip-off from concerned citizens in the area, 49 IB troops immediately conducted a focused military operation which led to the recovery of 8 M16 rifles, an M203, an M14 rifle, a sniffle rifle, magazines, and other war material. On May 24, 7 CPP-NPA terrorists surrendered to the 8th Infantry Battalion under the 403rd Infantry Brigade, 4th Infantry Division, bringing 5 high-powered firearms. The surrender was facilitated by the Modified Community Support Program, or the MCSP, the team of Sitio Ulayanon, Barangay Calubagaw, Impasugong in Bukidnon. The surrenders were former members of the NPA group, which operates in Bukidnon, Misamis Oriental, and parts of the Caraga region. Meanwhile, following are the total enemy neutralized and firearms seized from 01 January to 30 May 2024. A total of 1,055 communist terrorist groups, members and supporters were neutralized, broken down to 934 surrendered, 59 apprehended, and 62 killed. A total of 507 firearms and 146 anti-personnel mines were either captured or surrendered, and 119 encampments were seized. In the same period, a total of 137 local terrorist group members were neutralized, broken down to 89 surrendered, 5 apprehended, and 43 killed. A total of 128 firearms and 20 anti-personnel mines were either captured or surrendered, and 9 encampments were seized. Moving on to our territorial defense operations, or the West Philippine Sea issues. The Armed Forces of the Philippines remain resolute and undeterred in our commitment to protecting our sovereign rights and supporting our troops stationed in the West Philippine Sea. Despite the China Coast Guard's obstructions on May 19, our mission to resupply our valiant troops stationed in the BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin Shoal was largely successful. While some essential supplies were seized and dumped overboard by the CCG, our brave soldiers managed to secure the majority of the items that were delivered. The CCG's aggressive and unprovoked interference not only jeopardized the safety and well-being of our personnel, but also violated and established international norms and protocols. Such behavior is unacceptable and undermines efforts to maintain peace and stability in the region. We will continue to carry out our missions with unwavering dedication, ensuring that our troops are well supplied and prepared to defend our nation's interests. The Armed Forces of the Philippines denies the reported allegations of gun pointing by our troops stationed in BRP Sierra Madre LS-57 in Ayungin Shoal to China Coast Guard personnel. Our personnel are governed by the rules of engagement and clearly acted with the highest level of professionalism, restraint, and discipline in the performance of their mission to safeguard our sovereignty and sovereign rights. Foreign vessels that venture dangerously close to our military vessel and in violation of safe distance protocols necessitate heightened vigilance and alertness from our personnel. Hence, our troops were seen on guard because of the CCG's provocative presence near BRP Sierra Madre. We reiterate our commitment to peace and stability in the region, as emphasized by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Any aggressive actions that threaten this peace and the safety of our troops and stations will be met with the necessary and appropriate measures. The AFP remains resolute in our duty to defend our nation and our people against any threat. More on territorial defense operations in the West Philippine Sea will be discussed by our Philippine Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore Roy Vincent Trinidad, after this AFP update. In terms of our major service updates, for the Philippine Army, divers from the 525th Engineer Combat Battalion of the Philippine Army's Combat Engineer Regiment and their U.S. Army counterparts step up with their combined efforts during a port clearance operation, which is part of the ongoing exercise Salaknib Phase 2 at the Basco Port in Batanes on May 31, 2024. The cleared port will enable sea vessels to utilize the port more efficiently, increasing trade opportunities for the local community and providing access during humanitarian assistance and disaster response efforts. In the same day, the Army's top brass, led by Commanding General Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, met with the Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines, or the ULAP, delegation to strengthen collaborative responses to security threats in Fort Bonifacio in Taguig City. The discussions highlighted the importance of unity and cooperation as we work towards peace, security, and development in our communities. On the part of the Philippine Navy, representing the Philippine Navy Flag Officer in Command, Captain Clyde Domingo, the commanding officer of the BRP Antonio Luna FF-151 PF, welcomed the French Navy delegates from the Marine National Frigate Bretagne, D655, headed by its commanding officer, Captain Guengen Labotin, during their visit to the Philippine Navy headquarters on May 31st. Both navies discussed the shared objectives to strengthen ties and enhance both nations' capabilities, with the French Navy expressing its support for the ongoing modernization of efforts of the Philippine Navy. Lastly, for the Philippine Air Force, on June 1st, as part of its 77th pre-anniversary celebration, the Philippine Air Force launched the 6th leg of its pre-anniversary exhibit series at Robinson's Place in Butuan. The 3-day exhibit, running until June 3, offers mall-goers a chance to explore Philippine Air Force diverse capabilities in territorial defense, combat support, and humanitarian assistance and disaster response. That recaps our AFP updates for the week. I'll now turn on the microphone to our Chief Pao.
Okay, thank you very much, Colonel Padilla. Maybe we could call first the additional announcement or any updates coming from the Philippine Army. We have Major Estrada representing the Army Chief Public Affairs, Colonel De Maala. This is additional updates from the Philippine Army.
Thank you, sir. Sirs, ma'am, and media partners, good morning. For the Army updates, on the Army efforts on the Canlaon volcano eruption, the Philippine Army deployed its units in response to the situation brought upon by the Canlaon volcano eruption. More Army personnel are on standby and ready to provide assistance if needed. The Army units are actively participating and coordinating with the Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office of the affected areas as we extend necessary assistance in evacuating the residents. As the situation progresses, we call on the communist terrorist groups in the area to not take advantage of this natural calamity and cause further distress and chaos in our communities. And for the Philippine Army, Indonesian Army wrap-up planning conference and site survey for training activity PhilIndo Strike Force 2024. The Philippine Army through the 6th Infantry Kampilan Division and the Tentara Nasional Indonesia Angkatan Darat 10I ADE wrap up the 3-day planning conference and site survey for the upcoming training activity PhilIndo Strike Force 2024 at Camp Siongco, Awang, Dato Udin Sinsuat, Maguindanao on 31 May 2024. The training activity PhilIndo Strike Force 2024 is agreed to activity during the 29th Indonesia-Philippine Army Working Group meeting, which aims to strengthen cooperation and enhance both armies' capabilities for territorial defense operation through brigade-level mission planning and tabletop exercise. Said activity is an annual combined bilateral engagement alternately hosted by the Philippine Army and Indonesian Army. It will be conducted at Camp Siongco, Awang, Dato Udin Sinsuat, Maguindanao from 26 August 2024 to 02 September 2024. That's all for the updates for the Philippine Army.
Thank you very much, Major Estrada. On the West Philippine Sea, and at the same time, on the PowerPoint briefing about what transpired during the recovery of Chinese Coast Guard on the EAP's resupply mission.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, we have monitored 125 ships on the 8 features to include Panatag and Julian Felipe. This is more or less the same from the 122 from last week. We'll be giving you the data. Secondly, the other day, the PLA conducted an exercise in Sabina Shoal from 1100 to 1800. This was repeated also yesterday. We were able to monitor and challenge all their actions in Sabina Shoal. Likewise, we'll be showing you a video of the recovery of our airdrop materials, food supplies, and we'll also be debunking the videos being presented by the agents of the PLA online. Can we have the video? This slide shows the ribs of the PLA Navy rushing to pick up the essential food supplies that were airdropped to our detachment on board LS-57.
Yung pala ilabangan nila.
Next slide.
Paki-play lang.
Ipa-play mo lang yung video.
Yung pala ilabangan nila. Lako. Wala. Lapitan nyo kanya nga. Lapitan nyo kanya. Ito yung para drop. Yung item kagad, lapitan nyo. Yung item. Ayan yung item. Oo. Ano na dati na? Yung item yung lapitan nyo. Yung item. Minahulog. Kunin niya nahulog. Pangkano na. Sa kanila yan. Nahulog yung tropa nila. Ha? Nahulog. Yung item pa ninyo. Yung parachute. Kunin yung parachute. Ako, meron pa parachute. Nakita talaga nila. Ako, babagayin ata. Sigla. Babagayin. Hilahin nyo lang, hilahin nyo yung parachute. Hilahin, dalit sa bangura. Picture naman ko na video. Ako, sa Baura, papagayin tayo. Baura lang kayo, Baura. Halip sa Baura. Mahulog sir ba? Huwag niyo ipakuha. Yung mga baril natin, standby dyan sa sa gandam. Yung mga baril sir? Yung mga baril natin yan, standby nyo dyan. Ako natin ako. Patay na yan, patay!
Masyadong malapit.
Next slide, please. Another view of the Chinese ribs harassing our rubber boats. Naipag-agawan sila sa airdrop supplies natin. Next slide. More pictures of that. Next slide. This is a view from our rubber boat showing the second airdrop parcel that was retrieved by the PLA after opening it and realizing that it's only foodstuff. They dumped this back into the sea. Contrary to what they circulate online that we are polluting the seas. Next slide. Food supplies of the troops at LS-57. Next slide. Again, this is the second package that was airdropped, retrieved by the PLA agents. They opened it thinking that there are some suspicious materials inside or equipment. When they realized it was all food stuff, they dumped this back into the sea. So we were able to retrieve what they dumped back. Again, contrary to all their claims. Next slide. More of the food supplies recovered. Next slide. This is a online video showed by the PLA agents that we are polluting the seas. Please take note na hindi pa ito nabubuksan. First and foremost, I would like to emphasize that the PLA agents have no authority to be within our exclusive economic zone. They should not be there. They have no right. They were trespassing into our exclusive economic zone. Secondly, they interfered in a legal operational resupply mission. Number 3, they are circulating a video claiming that guns were pointed at them. Our sailors and our soldiers are covered by the rules of engagement. They conduct themselves in a very professional manner. From the moment they become sailors and soldiers, it needs but an order to settle them from this to that, to separate them from their families and dislocate their normal lives. In a word of command, they must rise, march, run, endure bad weather, be isolated in some distant LS-57 outpost, work until they drop. If their ashes are scattered to the 7 seas, that is all part and parcel of their job as members of the AFP. This will debunk all the statements, all the videos that the PLA is circulating online. It's part of the information warfare, a battle of narratives. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Commodore Trinidad. We will still be having our AFP spokesperson and our good Commodore to answer all other clarifications. But right now, let us all welcome our Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Browner Jr., to do some clarifications or maybe answers and give some statements on what transpired in this particular area. So later, sir, as we have seen the particular video, sir, that was presented to our media, sir, these are all captured video that was provided to us by the members in the Philippine Navy. And there are some clarifications made by our particular media outfits as to the authenticity and the veracity of the reports that we have been pointing to the CCG. I don't think, based on the video, it was very clear, it was very near. The CCG are already near our LS-57. It's very near in that particular aspect. So, right now, we will be having our Chief of Staff to address some of this clarification. We have also members from the Foreign Correspondents Association of the Philippines here present, not last from our Defense Press Corps. So, again, while we're still preparing for that one, sir.
I think Commodore Trinidad said it all. So they will answer the easier questions.
Yes, sir.
I will answer the more difficult ones. Okay. So I believe all your questions are easy, so they will answer them. No, anyway, thank you everyone for coming to this weekly press briefing. As you all know, I just came from Singapore. I joined the Shangri-La Dialogue with the President and the Secretary of National Defense. I see some of you here who were also there. I hope you already tested. I tested negative for COVID. So I'm safe, don't worry. So anyway, it was a very good dialogue that we had in Singapore. Although it was my first attendance to the Shangri-La Dialogue, but I saw the importance of that forum, particularly in terms of promoting peace and security in the region. So in attendance were several presidents of some of the states, heads of state were there of some of the states. We also had almost all the ministers of defense of the participating states, and also the chiefs of defense forces, my counterpart, were also there, and we had several multilateral and bilateral meetings as well on the sides. I was also fortunate to be a panelist in one of the panels discussing humanitarian assistance and disaster response or disaster relief. Overall, the Shangri-La Dialogue was successful, and because of the keynote speech of the President, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., we were able to let the world know about our stand when it comes to the security situation in the country and in the region, particularly in the South China Sea. And if I may quote the President, he again reiterated his position that we are not going to give up, not even a square inch, and he went down to not even a square millimeter of our territory. And that is why we are really resolved as members of the armed forces on protecting our territory, protecting our sovereignty and our sovereign rights. So thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that statement, sir. May we now go for the some clarifications
Okay.
To our media entities.
No, for the more difficult, if they're easy, I'll pass it on to you.
Any starters? Yes, Karen.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Sir, just a few clarifications. So the incident we're all talking about was the May 19 resupply mission. That was what you presented, and that was what was in the video shared by CCTV, where they alleged Philippine troops pointed guns at them. That's all related to 19. Sir, through about that incident. So, did you have advanced information that there's going to be resupply airdrop that intercept, or were they caught off guard and they just saw it and then attempted to get the supplies for our Philippine troops on the Second Thomas Road? How was just the ano lang, sir, the blow-by-blow event of the May 19? And then why is it only now we're reporting it? Nauna sila before we reported that, you know, there's an attempt to interfere and obstruct the May 19 supply mission, although Colonel said it was successful. Thank you.
Okay. So,
Thank you, Karen.
the resupply mission that happened on that day was not announced, no? So, there was no pre-information given to any party about that resupply mission. Now, that resupply mission, as you saw, was conducted using airdrop, the airdrop method, no? Instead of bringing our ship to the Second Thomas Shoal or Ayungin Shoal, this time we decided to airdrop our supplies. So we did 4 sorties or 4 rounds of resupply. We were able to recover 3 of them. Unfortunately, one of the packages was intercepted by the Chinese. It was the second airdrop where the Chinese came in. So probably what happened was when they saw the first pass of the airplane dropping supplies near the BRP Sierra Madre, probably that was when they started to react, no, by sending their ribs, no, rigid hull inflatable boats, ribs. And as you saw in the video, no, when the second resupply package was dropped, they attempted, or they went to the area to recover it, despite the fact that our boats were already there, no. So nakipag-agawan pa sila, inunahan pa tayo, no. And the thing was, they opened the packages, no, and when they saw that it was only food stuff, they threw it back into the water. Siguro naghahanap sila ng construction materials, no. But it was just a small package, no, enough to carry food items and enough for it to float on the water, no? So the Chinese did not have the authority or the right to confiscate this supply packages, which were meant for the soldiers, our Philippine soldiers, on board the BRP Sierra Madre. So wala silang karapatan na kunin yung sarili nating supply, because ang mga laman lang naman ng supply natin, as you saw, were food items and some medicines, no? Some medicines, because sometimes nagkakasakit yung mga sundalo natin on board, no? Second, on the issue of the pointing of the guns, we are denying, no, that any of our soldiers pointed deliberately their guns to any of the Chinese in the ribs, no. But we will not deny the fact that they were armed, no, because the BRP Sierra Madre is a commissioned Philippine Navy ship, and therefore it is authorized to have weapons. We are authorized to put weapons on board, no, both crew-served weapons and individual weapons of our soldiers. Meron tayong karapatan, no, because of the concept of self-defense. We have the right to defend ourselves from any armed attack or external attack, no? And if you saw in the video, the Chinese ribs were very close to the BRP Sierra Madre, because the supplies were dropped really very close, so that it would be easy for us to retrieve, no, the supplies, because of the risk that these supplies might sink down to the sea. So dapat pagbagsak niya, ma-recover kaagad natin, no. That is the idea. That's why malapit, no. And in this case, because of that intent of the Chinese Coast Guard to get our supplies, they came very, very close to the BRP Sierra Madre, no? And of course, this posed, from the point of view of our soldiers, this posed a danger, a threat, no? Dahil napakalapit na nila. That is why there were videos, there were images of our soldiers carrying their guns. But they, again, I would like to emphasize, they did not point their guns to the Chinese, no? Meron po tayong sinusunod na rules of engagement. Alam po ng mga sundalo natin yan, no?
Thank you very much, sir. Do you have any follow-up question? Yes, Karen.
Clarification on the airdrop. Will this be the norm? And if I'm not mistaken, sir, tama ba? Ito yung first resupply mission since the controversy over the audio, the supposed new model agreement?
No, we already did the airdrop resupply several times. No, it's just one of the options, no, because when you talk about RORE, it means rotation and resupply or reprovision mission, no. So there's an element of the rotation of the personnel. With the airdrops, you cannot do the rotation of personnel. So definitely we will still have to have our boats, our ships bringing the personnel who will be replacing those who are on board the BRP Sierra Madre. This is a normal occurrence, yung rotation, no? Because of course we want to maintain the physical and mental well-being of our soldiers and sailors.
Thank you very much, sir. Any other questions? Yes, Brian.
Good morning, sir. Is this the first time, sir, na nagkaroon ng reported incident ng pang-aagaw ng supply, and do you view this as some sort of escalation?
Definitely, this is illegal. This action of confiscating our supplies, no, is illegal. Dahil hindi naman po talaga dapat ginagawa yan in the international order. You're not supposed to confiscate the supplies of another country, even in war, no? Sa gera, kung minsan ay pagka supplies na yan, food supplies and even medicines, no? Usually the adversaries would allow food supplies and medicines to pass through for humanitarian reasons, no? For humanitarian reasons. So again, that is illegal. We have reported this already to our Department of National Defense. We have provided the information to the Department of Foreign Affairs. So we have done our part. It's up to DFA now whether they're going to file a protest for this action, illegal action that was done by the Chinese Coast Guard.
Sir, lumalabas din na parang we avoided na yung yung supplying by sea, pero nag-airdrop tayo. Pero parang ayaw nilang palampasin
Yes.
yung kahit anong airdrop.
Alam mo, yun na nga, we did that because we believe that we have to perform our missions in a peaceful manner, no? Kaya nga naisip na natin na mag-airdrop na lang at least para walang resistance. Wala na yung harassment na nangyayari sa dagat, no? Pero still, nakita niyo sa video, ganun pa rin eh. Ganun pa rin. Ayaw tayong tantanan, no? So we really have to assert our sovereignty, no, in the area.
Thank you very much. Yes, please. Please pass the mic.
Sir Pam from AFP. Sir, clarification lang po doon sa video, just so we have an accurate interpretation of it. So, ilan po yung Chinese reefs na dineploy? And galing ba sila sa isang Chinese Coast Guard vessel lang? And also, ilan po yung reefs na dineploy natin from the BRP Sierra Madre? And also, sir, sabi niyo po yung encounter is very, very close to the BRP Sierra Madre. May we have an estimate distance po o kung saan nangyari itong insidente na ito po?
Okay, may I ask
For
Commodore
details,
Trinidad?
Commodore Trinidad.
Easy. Okay.
Easy question.
Hindi, baliktad eh. I should answer the easier and you should answer the more difficult.
Thank you. We monitor the presence of the PLA Navy, the CCG, and the Maritime Militia. The ribs, as shown on the video, there were 2 of the ribs and 2 of our rubber boats. The distance would show that they were just within maybe 5 to 10 meters of BRP Sierra Madre.
Sir, from one CCG vessel lang po galing yung dalawang ribs na yun?
I'll have to check on that.
Sir?
MMVs.
Sir, pakiulit daw.
3 CCGs, 12 MMVs, Maritime Militia vessels, and 2 ribs.
Sir, saan ang deployment? Sir, you've mentioned kasi, di ba, ito within like 5 meters, sir? 5 meters away from the BRP Sierra Madre. Yung saan naman po, gaano kalayo naman yung ating mga Maritime Militia and ibang NPLA?
The Maritime Militia, the Coast Guard, and the PLA Navy could not enter the shoal because it is shallow. So only the ribs could come closer to Sierra Madre. So they would lie, depending on what part of the shoal they are, from a distance of 3 to 8 nautical miles.
Thank you very much.
Pero sir, just clarification. Sabi nyo kanina, PLA yung ribs or China Coast Guard?
The ribs, we have to ascertain if they came from the CCG or the PLA Navy. We have to ascertain which mothership launched the rib. Suffice it to say, these were from the PLA. The Chinese Military Commission, rather. The Coast Guard ultimately is under the CMC, the Chinese Military Commission. And you have the PLA under that.
Is this the
So we have to ascertain if this is Navy or Coast Guard ribs.
Is this the first time, sir, na nag-deploy ng ribs yung PLA? Kasi usually, sir, di ba, China Coast Guard lang naman ang nagbababa ng ribs for their law enforcement. First time ba to, sir, na may PLA Navy?
I'll have to check if these were indeed from the PLA Navy or the Coast Guard. But again, the PLA and the Navy and the Coast Guard are under the Chinese Military Commission. So we have to ascertain which mothership launched the ribs.
Sir, last na lang on my end. Maybe CSAF can answer. Sir, sa statement po ng AFP, ang sinabi po, sir, any aggressive actions that threaten this peace and the safety of our troops will be met with necessary and appropriate measures. Can you expound on that, sir? What kind of necessary measures yung gagawin kung sakaling mas lumala po yung incident? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Well, it depends on the action nung kabila. Basta calibrated yung action po natin. And all of our actions will be within the bounds of international law. No? So, of course, I cannot give you the exact details on our exact operations or actions. But it will also depend on their action. No? Katulad niya po yung sinasabi natin na nangyaring ganito, we are, of course, exposing what really happened because there is a misinformation that is happening. No? Binabaliktad po nila yung kwento. No? At nagpo-focus lang sila sa mga ibang aspeto. Pero kung titignan po natin yung konteksto, yung buong istorya, no, malalaman po natin kung bakit ganun po yung mga actions natin. No? Just like that, there was an action and we did a reaction. No? A certain reaction to that. So ganun po, calibrated, hindi tayo lalampas or lalabis dun sa mga actions po nila, but be assured that all of our actions will be within the bounds of international law.
Okay, para pagbigyan. Thank you very much, sir. Para pagbigyan natin lahat makapag-post ng question, one question each member of the media. So, Daily Tribune, then followed by Kyoto News, and then Edniel Paroja.
Hi sir, follow-up lang po doon sa calibrated strategy. Part po ba ng strategy yung nauna yung China na ilabas yung ganitong klaseng information instead na tayo yung, di ba, kasi tayo yung agrabyado. Bakit hindi natin nilabas agad yung information na gano'n?
Yan.
Easy questions to be answered by Commodore Trinidad. So you can stay.
What an easy question. First and foremost, we are normalizing the RORE missions. It is at the level of the command of Western Command. So we don't have to highlight any successful RORE because, again, it's a normal activity. In as much as China would like to portray us as on the negative side, as part of their deception and information warfare, then we will show them that, we will show the world that what they are doing, what they are saying is all wrong. It's full of lies. And the video will point that out.
So I think that was answered.
Sabi ko so easy.
Next to be posed by Kyoto News.
I also wish to ask about the rotation mission of the personnel. How did you conduct it? I think the last announced, officially announced rotation mission was 23rd March.
Again, we do not announce our operations in advance. It is at the level of the Western Command. How and when to rotate and resupply the troops.
I just wonder that I'm very worried about the personnel there. They are regularly rotating. Can we understand somehow?
Could you say it again? You are?
Sir, the clarification, sir, if we have our rotation of personnel, if it is constant or do we rotate? Since
Yes,
our
yes.
personnel are
We
being there
rotate
for a long
our
time.
troops. We provide them with supplies. Details of that is at the level of Western Command. We don't announce our operations in advance.
In short, we cannot announce our operational details as to when is the next rotation, but definitely we do rotate our personnel, and at the same time, we provide the necessary provisions for our troops in the West Philippine Sea. Thank you. Admiral Parosa.
Morning, sir. Maybe Commodore or CSAF can answer. Sir, yung follow-up ko lang binabanggit na recalibration. Kasi hindi na lang to pag-agaw ng pagkain. Ito rin ay proximity na rin yung pinag-uusapan. So palapit na sila ng palapit. Hanggang kailan tayo perhaps maximum tolerance yung ipatutupad? Sa susunod ba na operation, once na lumapit ulit yung rubber boats sila, ganito pa rin yung magiging kwento natin?
I think that's an easy question to be answered by Commodore Trinidad again.
Easy, yeah. The troops are governed, the actions of the troops are governed by the rules of engagement. Those rules have different scenarios, and we trust that they will act professionally in implementing the rules of engagement.
Okay, that was it. So next question to be posted by Bianca Daba of ABS.
Thank you po. Sir, I just want to ask po, is this the first time po the Chinese ribs have operated this close to BRP Sierra Madre, or nagagawa na ba nila yan dati pa? And kay CSAF po, should this happen again or mas malala pa, sir? Follow up lang din sa tanong ng mga kasama kanina. Ano po yung instruction niyo sa troops natin doon? Thank you po.
First and foremost, the Chinese ships could not come close to BRP Sierra Madre. Only the ribs. It's the first time that we have noticed the ribs, because they tried to interfere with a normal resupply operation. On the second question, I believe we would not like to speculate on our actions in the event a situation will arise.
Okay, thank you very much, Bianca.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Clearly, yung CCG, no business being there in the first place. So, sir, after the incident, can we consider that CCG is now doing piracy on the high seas, or can we categorically say na piracy yun? Kasi under UNCLOS, yung piracy is violation.
I would have to check if we could term this as piracy. Suffice it to say, they were interfering with a normal resupply operation.
Okay. Sir, after what happened, sir, how can we assure na yung resupply mission natin, sir, hindi na mauulit yan, sir? And paano natin magkakaroon ng safe delivery sa mga foods natin para hindi na pamaagaw ng Chinese authorities?
There are different options available to Western Command. It so happened that this only came to the fore because it was exposed, it was brought to light by the other side, by the Chinese side. There are different options.
Next question to be posted by Bea.
Sir, for context, kasi we know na pumapasok na yung ribs ng China Coast Guard in previous RORE missions. But just for our understanding, usually how close or how far do they get from the BRP Sierra Madre as opposed to this one, wherein 5 to 10 meters na lang po yung layo nila, tama ba?
In the last RORE, using Onaisa May, the rib escorted our rib up to 50 to 100 meters.
Okay, next question to be posted by Angie Chen of CNA.
Hello, sir. Because now we are seeing China, they are accusing us even dropping trash in the sea, and also those like accusations to the Philippines. What do you think? What will be our response to this kind of accusations, and how do we do about it? Thank you.
First and foremost, they did not dump trash. They dumped our food supplies. There's a different effort, I believe, by the appropriate government agency to file a case of environmental degradation. That's it.
Thank you. Next question.
What's our response to, like, in the future they may have more this kind of false accusation? How do we respond to this kind of?
We will continue our RORE missions. We will not be deterred. We need to rotate our troops and resupply them.
Thank you very much. Yes, please. Eric?
Sir, good morning. Other matters. Noong Thursday, sir, Chinese state tabloid Global Times accused the Philippines of doing effectively forging a quasi-military grounding in Sabina Shoal. Can you react on that, sir?
We have to check on that report. Grounding of a ship on Sabina Shoal.
Yes, sir.
We check on the veracity of that report, the truthfulness of it.
Okay. Next question to be posted by Zon Ballesteros, ABC30.
For CSAP siguro, sir. Sir, di ba nagkasama nga po kayo ng Pangulo sa Singapore? I believe nabanggit nyo na rin po siguro itong nangyari noong May 19. Ano ho ang naging reaksyon ng Pangulo bukod ho dun sa sinasabi nyo kanina na we will not give an inch doon sa territory natin? Ano yung reaksyon ng Pangulo and at the same time, ano ho yung naging kautusan ng Commander-in-Chief natin regarding nga dito sa incident po na ito?
Well, in general, ang bilin po ng ating Pangulo ay wag nating hayaan na mag-escalate yung situation. Kaya nga po tayo mga Pilipino, ang ginagawa po natin is that we are practicing maximum tolerance. And we are practicing activities that promote international law. In other words, ay hindi po tayo lumalabag sa mga batas international. For instance, no, na-discuss po namin yung paggamit ng water cannons. So the Chinese, they use their water cannons to destroy our ships, to hurt our personnel. But in international law, the water cannons are supposed to be used to save lives, no? Particularly when there is a fire on another ship. No, a ship can point its water cannons on the fire in order to put out the fire, no? Ganun po yung gamit ng water cannons, hindi para manakit ng kapwa tao, no? So we were discussing this with the president and he said, no, do not use our water cannons against the Chinese, no? So in other words, what he's trying to give to us or order us is that we should always maintain the high moral ground, no? Dahil tayo, sumusunod tayo sa batas, no? Yun po yung gusto ng ating Pangulo. At yan rin po yung kanyang in-emphasize, no, dun sa kanyang speech sa Singapore during the Shangri-La Dialogue. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Zon. Yes, please.
Hi, sir. Sir, two questions lang po. First is yung sa seized package ng Chinese. What happened to the food package? Were they considered spoiled, wasted, or na-deliver siya sa mga tropa? Anong laman nun? Bigas, meat, or whatever? And then second, sir, who decided na for this particular resupply mission, magkaroon tayo ng airdrop? Is it the new leadership of the Westcom?
I think that those questions were already presented a while ago. Basically, what was recovered, what we could scavenge from yung possible na recover natin ng mga food packs na pwede pa natin magamit. So basically. So, and then yung kanina, these are the part of the operational mix is not just of the new Westcom. We're talking about the different options given to new commanders on the ground to use for their options in the part of the operational mix in conducting their missions of RORE, on the rotation and resupply. These are possible options lang po. Thank you very much, sir.
Yung ibang supply nasira, no? Like yung mga bigas nabasa, no? Yung mga na-recover na lang natin were ito, yung mga naka-plastic, yung Rebisco crackers, ano pa yung mga yan? Ha? Nga. At yung mga ha? Nga ba yan? Akala ko kamatis. But you know, only the items that were floating on the water were recovered. These are just some of them, but most of the supplies sunk, no? So sayang yung supply na yan. Imagine ganyan lang binibigay natin sa mga sundalo natin, no? Happy na sila. Pati yung ayun, no, nasira yung iba, no?
Okay, yes, ma'am, from GMA.
Sir, just for video purposes, can we point to, para ma-identify lang namin kung ano po dun yung Chinese and ano yung
Okay.
AFP?
All right.
For
Okay,
video
ito.
purposes.
Look at the contrast. Look at the contrast. So these are the... All right. So in this photo shows a lot of contrasts, no, between the Chinese Coast Guard and the Philippine vessels, no. So we have these ribs or rigid hull inflatable boats are being used by the Chinese. We are using rubber boats to retrieve our supplies, no. So makikita po ninyo yung pagkakaiba. And in the background, you will see the Chinese militia, maritime militia, no? Very close by, very close by. Not shown in this photo are the other Chinese Coast Guard vessels, the ships, and the other 10 Chinese maritime militia. So nakapalibot po sila dito. This photo was taken from our troops on board the BRP Sierra Madre. So makikita nyo po kung gaano kalapit sila. It's very close.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, how would you assess the effectivity of using the airdrop instead of the RORE when the airdrop would invite them too close pala to Ayungin?
Yeah. So we're looking at several options. In the past, the airdrop was very successful. We did that several times already, as I said. So we were able to drop supplies, the much needed supplies and medicines to our troops. They were recovered peacefully by our soldiers using the rubber boats. But this time, we don't know what came into the minds of the Chinese Coast Guard when they captured, our supplies. So because that is against the law, you cannot do that.
Okay, thank you very much. Sino pa yung Daily Tribune?
Sir, quick lang, sir. Sir, kasi Senator actually Tolentino publicly said na there was an incident near collision around that time, sir, period. Tapos may medevac. There were Navy personnel who were evacuated from BRP. Can you confirm that, sir? Can you give us details? Did that happen the same day?
All right. Not the same day, but prior. No, actually, one of our personnel got sick on board the BRP Sierra Madre, and we attempted to bring them back to Palawan so that he could be treated. No, unfortunately, during the first attempt of bringing our soldier out of the Second Thomas Shoal or Ayungin Shoal, they were blocked by the Chinese. So we were not able to complete the medical evacuation. On the second day, we were able to complete that medevac with the help of the Philippine Coast Guard. So nagawa naman po natin, nadala po natin yung sundalo natin na may sakit, no, on board the Philippine Coast Guard at nadala po siya sa Palawan.
Sir, one last quick lang po. Kasi sir, we understand that you're trying to normalize yung RORE natin, yung resupply natin, sir. But these are aggressive attempts or actions by the Chinese. Hindi ba tayo, are we not deviating from the transparency initiative, sir? Kasi we only publicize this incident, sir, afterward. Parang hindi ba siya, are we not changing from the transparency initiative of the government, sir? These are aggressive actions, sir, not normal.
Yeah.
Another easy question, sir. Another easy question that could be answered by Commodore Trinidad, particularly on the transparency.
Okay, ulit lang, please. Could you say the question again?
These are aggressive actions. They're not normal. I mean, as we can see from the Philippine side, sir, the Chinese did something. So, and then we did not publicize it, not ahead, pero at least shortly after, unlike previous incidents, sir. So, are we changing the strategy of the Philippines, sir? Kasi before, we normally announce it publicly, sir, right after, or ano po, pag may ganitong incident?
The thrust is still transparency. The video will show that the ICAD activities are all contrary to what they say. Their deceptive actions, they lack common sense. We could not airdrop construction materials. Their narratives is that they do the blocking because of construction materials. I would like to point out that they have zero common sense. You will see that what appeared there is all food stuff. The measured transparency approach is still there.
Okay, before going for the next and second round questions, yung mga hindi pa nakapagtanong, let's give a chance. I think Daily Tribune, you are going to ask kanina. Okay na? Okay. Sige. From AFP.
Sir, detail lang po ulit doon sa encounter. Gaano ba naging katagal yung encounter and paano sila naghiwalay? Para lang po mabuo natin yung kwento.
I would have to get more details on paano naghiwalay. We're just standing by the video. Most likely after the rubber boats came back to LS-57, umalis na rin yung mga ribs nila.
But how long did the encounter happen po? Like mga, can we say 10, 5 minutes? Ganun ba? Or
I'll have to check on the details.
If I may, sir.
Yes.
Basically, we have the 4 sorties of the supplies. So you would notice it's a particular overtime. So being para-dropped or air-dropped, and then the playing on the ground to recover. So we can estimate around 30 minutes yung the air-drop, the 4 sorties that we had, and then yung people on the ground trying to rush in to get yung supplies natin. So, ganun lang yun. And basically, if you are to look for the entire area, as Mick mentioned, we have 3 China's Coast Guard present on the within the vicinity of Ayungin Shoal, and then we have 12 CMMs or Maritime Militia, and the deployment of 2 RIPs para makapasok mismo doon sa loob para makipagagawan or intentionally, actually, na kunin yung ating mga supplies. So, we cannot ascertain this to specific how long at pagkaganoon kasi na nangyari na yan, but we could ascertain yung time ng ating para-drops. 4 times tayo nag-drop na. So, it reached around 30 minutes yung pag-drop, bigyan natin ng drop. Thank you very much.
Sir, yung alleged gun pointing, kailan nangyari?
That was, as mentioned, nakita nyo yung continuation na yun kasi yung video nasa side natin, ano? And then yung pinapakita nyo ng video is nasa side nila, no? You can look at the video that they're at that particular close. Remember, these are commissioned Philippine Navy vessel. There are certain distance that you have to observe for any unannounced ventures to go near any Navy warships. So, ganun lang kasimple yan. Before that, I pose question coming from from Rappler.
General Brother, sir, bigger picture siguro, based on what you heard at Shangri-La, you're fresh off Singapore, based on the pronouncements, the rhetoric of China there, and their actions in the West Philippine Sea, ano po nakikita nating prospects for tensions in the South China Sea and the West Philippine Sea, considering both things, sir, yung sinasabi nila at yung ginagawa nila mismo sa atin?
Well, the general theme of the Shangri-La dialogue is that it is very important to maintain the peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. Because if we do not maintain that stability, things could get out of hand. And if that happens, it would affect the entire world. No? It was emphasized there that about more than 50% of world trade passes through the South China Sea. So this explains why a lot of countries are interested in the region. No? At tayo po ay masayang-masaya dahil maraming mga bansa ang nagbigay po ng kanilang suporta sa atin in terms of their statements of support. And not only that, they are willing to support us in other endeavors such as capability development in terms militarily, in terms of training our personnel, in joining joint operations in order for us to improve our interoperability and so on. So napakarami pong mga bansa, and that is very heartwarming for us to know that a lot of countries around the world support us in our endeavor to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific, and also to promote an international rules-based order, no? So yun po yung napakagandang result nung Shangri-La Dialogue. And if you recall, even President Zelensky of Ukraine attended the Shangri-La Dialogue, and after the Shangri-La Dialogue, he came here to the country. At nagpapasalamat po siya sa suporta naman natin sa kanila. In fact, he is asking us for help in terms of mental health professionals, no, to help them. Of course, we are also there to support Ukraine. Kaya nga po magkakaroon ng peace summit, no, in the near future, and from what I heard, our president is intending to join that peace summit. So President Marcos is really pushing for the sustainment of peace initiatives, not just in our country, but even in Europe and elsewhere around the world. Kasi napakahalaga po talaga ng peace sa ating bansa, no?
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you.
sir. I think that would be the okay. I can entertain one last question, and that will be our weekly presser.
Tapos ka na ba, Francel? Si Francel.
Nag-update kanina siya. Yes. That will be the last question. So make it count.
Sir, kasi senators, after this information came out, they urged the DND and the AFP to pursue all necessary measures to demand accountability from the Coast Guard. As part sa military po, paano natin gagawin yung demand ng accountability? Because they said that this is already piracy na kasi they're blocking the food and medical supplies for our troops.
I think we have to get to the context of the narratives as being given by the Senate. We have not received any for us to make a necessary comment on that particular statement. So I think we need to get details from the Senate themselves. Okay, I'll give the last question, last one.
Sir Trinidad po, yung na-mention nyo kanina, sir, na exercise sa Sabina Shoal ng PLA Navy. Can you expound on that, sir? Ilang PLA Navy ships and what kind of drills yung ginawa po nila sa Sabina Shoal?
Yes, last June 2, the PLA Navy announced that they will be conducting an exercise in a certain area adjacent to Sabina Shoal. After the announcement, they started exercising from 1100 to 1800, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. This included the launching of the hovercrafts, of the aircraft, and some maneuvers at sea. This was also repeated yesterday, June 3.
Ano po yung implication po nito, sir? Itong ginagawang drills ng PLA Navy sa Sabina Shoal. And nandun po ngayon yung isang PCG ship nagbabantay nga for possible reclamation.
First and foremost, they have no right to be within our EEZ. The conduct of an exercise is unauthorized under UNCLOS. It's not allowed. I would like to cite our Commander-in-Chief yesterday in the Philippine Navy Command Conference when he said that if this is the punishment for me giving a speech at the plenary of the Shangri-La Dialogue, then they are punishing us. Nevertheless, I would like to say their actions are all illegal, not within the bounds of international law, and the AFP will not be deterred in performing its mandate.
Okay. Thank you very much, Commodore Trinidad. And of course, let's just give a hand to our Chief of Staff, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Browner, to be with us for our AFP Weekly Presser. Maraming salamat po sa inyong presence. And I just hope to see you again on the next week and with our partners from the FOCAP to be joining on a weekly basis. Thank you very much. Magandang tanghali po.